What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Dan Cave. And today we are looking at patch notes. We have 2.0, the biggest patch notes coming in, and there's a lot of really great stuff in this. Now, before we jump into all that, make sure go down below, hit that sub button, and yeah, hit the like button, share it out, all that good stuff, because we're going to be breaking down the 2.0 notes so that you don't necessarily have to go read them. But if you like to read them, if you like all those details, well, make sure to head over onto the official Discord or the Dan Cave Discord. Link is down below, and you can check out the notes in their entirety. So as we jump into them, we're gonna be scrolling down, and there are some really awesome stuff in this patch notes. We have Riff Raids, we have Relics, and we have all the updates that are around those, including some updates to Guardians that are going to be pretty important to you guys. So when we're talking about the Relics and the Riff Raids, if you guys haven't already checked it out, I do have videos on the dev diaries that were released. So keep in mind, when it comes to these patch notes, they've only given us some high level stuff because those dev diaries, well, they dig a little bit further. So as we move in here, we're going to be looking at the Riff Raids. And yes, guys, I am super excited about Riff Raids, and they are starting this week. Yes, Thursday kicks off the Riff Raids, and it's going to be very important to make sure you're in an alliance and you're in a pretty active alliance. Now, we said on the other video, it's going to be a leader that can kick off Riff Raids. This is something that was brought up to the dev, so hopefully in the near future, it will be extended to all the different co-leads and things like that. But for now, you need to make sure at a minimum, your leader in your alliance is going to be active to hit that button on Thursday. Now, Thursday's Riff Raid is going to be a little bit different because this is going to be for seeding. Yes, this is going to be an event where we're actually going to get placed in our different categories after the fact, or different rankings and things like that. So you want to make sure this Thursday you are trying to push as far as you possibly can. Once this one happens, we will go into our rankings and our brackets and things like that. So the additional ones that we do after that, well, this is where you're going to want to try to push to either move up or not fall down or stay right where you are and things like that. So this one is gonna be a little bit less of trying to actually be at the very top of your particular bracket. This time we're actually trying to be at the top so that you can be put in one of those big brackets. Now, with that said, you are going to be doing a lot of stuff together when you're taking down these sentinels and these gatekeepers. But yeah, check out the video at the end of this video to go into details around Riff Raids. So moving down from Riff Raids, we're going into Relics. And Relics are those items that are really going to be able to push your Guardians. Now, Relics are coming to the game, and they are kind of taking the place of what gems were in the dungeons. So gems are going over to the Riff Raids. And yeah, you will still have some moats that are in the dungeons, but a lot of your moats are also going to come from Riff Raids. Realistically, dungeons are going to be about exploring and finding those relics, and those relics are going to be able to, really make your character a lot better than they currently are because they're percentage based to add on to the stats. Now, I'm excited about relics, but they are going to be a little bit of RNG because, well, when you open them up, they're going to be different rarities. They're going to be different roles and trait bases and things like that. So you may have to run these dungeons for a while before you really find that perfect ring or that perfect bracelet or something like that that you really want for your Guardian. So make sure you're keeping your eyes on those because, well, this is the fun part when it comes to this game. They are going to be their own dungeons. So all those dungeons that we're getting that were role based, and originally those were giving you those gems for that particular role, instead they're going to be role based dungeons. So within those dungeons, let's say it's the tank dungeon that you're doing, yeah, those relics are going to be tank based that you're finding. And these relic boxes are going to be all over the map. And yes, you can get the top end, the legendary, the epic, things like that. You can get those in lower dungeons, but the higher dungeon you do, the higher probability to get that better one. So make sure you're pushing dungeons, you're using your energy, opening up all of those different relic boxes to increase the damage, increase the stats of your characters as you go. But if you want some more information, like I said, check out the dev diary. I'll link it right up here and you can get more information about it. So with that, just like we said, there are going to be some updates to dungeons, and realistically, that's what it is. Relics are coming to dungeons. We're pushing a bunch of the gems and stuff over to Riff Raids. And yeah, a lot of different little tweaks around relics within here. So not too much there. I don't want to go into too much detail because realistically, I've already told you what you need to know when it comes to that, but there are some extra notes if you want to look at them in the patch notes. Next up is the Guardian updates. Now the Guardian updates are pretty huge, guys. We are actually adding traits to some of these Guardians. And yes, a few Guardians are going to get some traits taken away. It's a pretty big shakeup, but for the most part, all we're really doing is adding a lot of these new traits that you've never really had on the old Guardians to them. So characters like Mulan and Herc, we've complained so much about the fact that they don't have enough traits. Well, we're standardizing them. Every Guardian will have anywhere from 4 to 6 traits, so now they should be more usable throughout the game. Now, when it comes to towers, I really only saw a couple of them that really had some big changes. Those being Mulan and Elsa are now leaders, so that should help you be able to bring those into the leader tower if you don't already have your team figured out at this point. But on top of that leader change, we do have a lot of these other random traits that are newer being added to the older Guardians, like Scary and Fortune Teller and Book Smart, things that were very rare on these Guardians being added to multiple Guardians. This is going to be huge when it comes to Riff raids because, well, there's a lot of bonuses and restrictions around these particular traits, and now you're going to have a bigger selection of Guardians that you can use. Like I said before, a couple Guardians are losing a couple traits, and it's nothing like the towers or anything like that type traits, but a few of these sub traits are going to be going away, and it makes sense. The ones that they had didn't necessarily make sense to that character, and so yeah, it's not going to affect you too much. Things like Ursula losing Gravity Defying, we've got too many characters that already have Gravity Defying that are better, so don't worry about it. As far as the character changes, the Guardian changes, there are a couple in here, but most of it's just description based, or it's things that they've already said and they're just tweaking it and getting it right. There's no real big update to these Guardians, so don't worry about them, you know, moving tiers or being less playable or anything like that. It's just, you know, polishing is what I'd call it. So beyond that, we have the updates and improvements. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here, but realistically, most of it doesn't matter too much. Most of it's just going to be those little things. That doesn't mean it's important, because I love that Kabam puts this in here so that we can see all of those little details. But with that said, you know, the biggest ones that we're talking about are those relics and those riff raids. Editor Dan here, and I know you guys were wondering about those new Guardians, and I can't leave you guys hanging on that. Yes, I'm talking about the picture at the top, right? The one at the top of the patch notes, that ray gun. And yes, we also have that beautiful silhouette that they put up over on Facebook. And we know that Hades is one of those Guardians, and it is confirmed that the other one is going to be Cruella. So it's very interesting they went with Cruella in the fact that she's going to be ranged. And who knows, maybe we'll see some puppies being thrown. Maybe the ray will change your Guardians into puppies. Maybe it's just a blaster. Who knows, but I am pretty excited because yes, a lot of people that weren't in beta don't have Hades, and this is going to be their chance to get Hades as well as Cruella. So definitely let me know below, did you know it was Cruella? What gave it away? And are you going to go after her when she drops? I can't wait to see her entire design on Tuesday, which is tomorrow when she actually hits the game. But who knows when we're actually going to be able to get her. We'll let you know, and we'll keep you posted as we have more details about that. And I'll send you back over to the other Dan now. So if you want to know about Riff Raids and you want to know about my experience actually playing in them, well, make sure you check out right over here. Yeah, make sure to check out that video right there, because I'm going to be going into detail about my experience, the Guardians I used, and all that kind of stuff that you need to know before Thursday. So check those out. So now that we've looked at all these patch notes, let me know down in a comment below, what are you the most excited about? And until next time, guys, y'all take it easy.